What's up? This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow, and happy Friday. Give yourself a pat on the back because this is indeed a very volatile week. Man, yesterday, the CPI numbers came in hot. 8.1, guys. The expected CPI was actually 8.2, and then it came in hot, right? So, sorry, 8. I forgot what it is, but it came in hot, guys. It was kind of like higher than expected, so that's why the market tanked. And I'm gonna talk to you about what happened yesterday. And also, before I begin, I just want to shout out to the Keungz community. Keungz community is actually an NFT collection by one of the tech partners of Memeland. And I don't think they're only one of the tech partners, but it's by Keungz, right? So Keungz is a tech partner of Memeland. So basically, all the Memeland stuff you see, all the potato stuff, all the technical aspect for that, staking and stuff like that, is actually done by Keungz. And today, guess what, guys? His collection, he has 432 NFTs under this collection. They announced it that if you are interested in the Memeland ecosystem, right? If you own a Keungz, you are actually automatically meme listed. Okay, so guys, shout out to this community. Shout out to Keungz for his very tough negotiation with the 9gag founder. He shared on Discord, like he was chatting with Wei till 4 a.m. here in the local time. So that is actually quite crazy, guys. But if you are a Keungz holder and if you are interested in Memeland, definitely don't miss out this opportunity, and remember to put your ETH address here. So basically, go to your dashboard, click on the Keungz, click here, and submit your Memeland address. Okay, so without further ado, let us go to our regular programming. So this is the current genesis, right? If you want to get a meme listed, if you want to mint the 9gag NFT, but you don't have it right now, you're not meme listed, then maybe buying from this collection is a choice, because the mint price was actually around 5 Ethereum, right? Because that was the bid price. So now the lowest is for 6.6, right? So pretty much you aren't really losing out a lot if compared to the mint price. But not financial advice, you do you. I'm just I own one of these Keungz, so that's why I'm just shouting out to this community. But regardless, going back to our regular programming, today we are going to talk about the CPI. So what happened yesterday is that I'm not sure if you guys remember, right? But in September, this thing happened, right? So there was a few Korean traders, and what happened was that they were actually opening a long during the CPI print for August, and then they were so excited because the market was so volatile, it was just pumping so hard, right? And it kept pumping and pumping, and then they were super excited, and then suddenly the CPI numbers came out. It wasn't good, right? It was higher than expected and stuff like that, and then boom, the market just crashed. So it really shows you how these CPI numbers, how inflation data nowadays is so important within the space, right? It shows you how these numbers are gonna affect the market. Because look at this, look at how volatile Bitcoin was last CPI print. Okay, and guess what, guys? These guys set a stop loss, I believe, and then that was the long position, and then it jumped. So they were making a lot of money, and then they lost basically more than they invested, right? And guess what, guys? They decided to do it again for this number. So yesterday, this was the video. Check this out, right? Another CPI print, another gem courtesy of Sato, right? So this was yesterday. It was pumping. It was pumping, pump, 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 pump. Oh, and they were very excited. They were just hoping that it would keep pumping. And then the numbers came in. Okay, the numbers came out. Boom. The numbers was 8.2. 8.2, yes. The expected CPI was actually 8.1, so it was 0.1% higher than the expected CPI, and therefore the market basically tanked. And I think this is gonna be a thing, guys. These people are gonna keep doing these views and showing you these huge positions that they have. Look at the bottom, right? The realized P&L is minus 39. I think that's a comma. 39 comma yeah, they're just doing these trades, right? But a lot of just losing a lot of money for the first trade, but I think they're kind of controlling the risk this time. So guys, what happened yesterday? The market dumped, right? The market came and the CPI year over year was 8.2, and the expected CPI was 8.1, which means that people were hoping that inflation is controlled, but it didn't, right? It was higher by 0.1%. The market tanked, right, all the way down. Okay. But then, Joe Biden, the US president, came out and said that today's report shows progress in the fight against higher prices. Even as we have more work to do, inflation over the last 3 months has averaged 2% at an annualized rate that's down from 11 in the prior quarter, right? So Joe Biden was saying that, hey, actually inflation, in August was actually 8.3. And now the inflation numbers is 8.2. So we have an improvement, right? Even though it's higher than expected, but there is a 0.1% improvement. So that's why, guys, the market just did a U-turn and pumped it all the way back up, okay? And as you can see, the market is quite green, right? And now we're kind of having a slight retrace because of how fast the market was, moving. So non-fungible TC, what is the CPI, right? What exactly is the CPI, okay? So look at this. This is the Wires and Consumer Price Index, right? So yesterday it was at 8.2% compared to last year. So the CPI takes into account the energy costs, the food costs, and also other commodities costs with regards to the US inflation, right? So if these costs goes up higher and higher, then the CPI will go higher. It means that people are, the purchasing power in the US is much lower because, $1 could buy even less of that same item. So as you can see, overall energy increase is 19.8. So we can see energy is actually quite important in terms of the increment in the CPI. And at the same time, food cost is actually 11.2. And other commodities like traveling and shelter and stuff like that is actually 6.6. Okay. And interestingly, I share this analysis, right? So Charlie Bello said that compared to August CPI, right, the thing that moved the highest, right, was actually shelter. August CPI shelter was 6.2, and now a September CPI was 6.6. So this increment of 0.4% is actually quite high compared to the other numbers, right? And also besides the medical care, which has a 0.9% increase, but shelter is quite high according to him, right? So the highest YOY increase was gas, utilities, so energy prices, transportation, food away from home, shelter, medical care, and apparel. But however, the lower YOY increase is fuel oil. So fuel oil, gasoline, electricity was being controlled in terms of the inflation, and food at home, right? New costs and used costs. So it means eating outside is becoming more expensive, but eating inside is now more cheaper, right? And interestingly, look at this, right? Macro Alpha said that Redfin just reported that the median US rent registered in the first monthly decline in a long while. So basically, what happened is that asking rent declined. So it means that rent is going down, okay? Shelter cost is going down, okay? Because people knows that the market is very bad and therefore the prices are lower. So rents are a core important part of the core inflation. Let's see if the official CPI reflects the same trend. And apparently it did not reflect the same trend, which the Michael Alva said, right? The official CPI tend to delay the impact of increasing/decreasing rent in core inflation. It will take a while before the housing weakness and demand discussion find their ways into the official core CPI calculations. So basically, he's trying to make the argument that the Fed is actually looking at backward data if you're just looking at the CPI. Okay, so that's it, guys. That is what the CPI is all about, and that is also the most increment in the US. And it seems that energy prices, especially if you look at this, from Charlie Bello, the post here, the most increment is actually gas, utilities, transportations, right? So moving on to regular programming today, market pretty green, because the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 just rallied yesterday in the US market. So as a result, Asian market rallied, Europe market is rallying. So now we're waiting for the US markets to hoping to see if this rally is gonna be sustained, right? But it is a mess, guys. The market is a mess, right? The UK financial minister was just laid off or something like that. And UK is cutting a lot of jobs, right? So, Europe is just not doing well, okay? Energy crisis and stuff like that. And I'm very sure, right? Eurozone is doing not well. The German exports is going down. And but the only thing that you'll see is that the US might be doing slightly well. And the reason for that is because Biden does not want the market to look bad, or at least all-time low before the midterm elections, because the midterm elections is coming around in early November, right? Mid-November and early November, right after the FOMC meeting again. Okay, so here's what could happen: U.S. market maybe sideways. Not financial advice. So I'm not a financial expert, but this is what I think. U.S. market sideways. Unemployment numbers goes down. Okay, it means that more people have job. U.S. is doing good. But when unemployment numbers go down, it basically means that the market will think that the Fed will raise hikes more aggressively, which can tank the market. So every time when the unemployment numbers comes out, maybe the position is that, hey, unemployment is actually going down. Okay, and therefore the market is gonna go down. Okay, but at the same time, globally, the world in Europe especially, if you look at German inflation was around all-time 10% high. German Europe is gonna do bad, right? And we have winter that's coming, energy prices is gonna high. So I think it's gonna be a really bad winter. So after November, where the narrative of midterm elections make it good is no longer there, we might really see real pain, right? A lot of people are saying that 2023 will be a year of recession. Okay. So crypto market, Bitcoin back at 19,631, Ethereum at 1,328. Global crypto market cap an increase of 5.2%. Definitely volatile. We are at a market cap of 936 billion. Stable coins jumped a bit, so basically it means that people move to cryptocurrency. But then if you look at Nansen, interestingly, USDC has the most trading volume. Okay. And if you look at this, right, look at the exchange flow, right? For Bitcoin, the exchange reserve is kind of low, because there's a lot of people removing Bitcoin from exchanges, right? So as you can see, when the price dumps, right, or before a dump, it seems that people are removing them from exchanges, right? And even right now, because these prices are so attractive, people are buying and then removing them from exchanges, right? So this is what's happening to on-chain data. So moving on to crypto news, will be a shorter news today. Tether, they announced that they have completely eliminated commercial papers from the reserve. So basically, the Tether is now, they have eliminated over 30 billions of commercial paper without any losses. A proof of how Tether's reserve are conservatively and professionally managed. Tether has also increased its direct exposure to US Treasuries by more than 10 billion in the last quarter. This announcement further ensures that Tether has a diverse portfolio and so on, right? So Tether, if they remove the commercial papers, it means that it will be more stable in terms of if people want to redeem the $1 USDT for $1. But it will have to wait for an audit, right? If there's no public audit, we have to wait in audits and see although there's no commercial paper, what it is back, right? But it seems like it's gonna be backed by US dollars and also US Treasury, and the US Treasury is actually going up quite high because of all of this inflation and also the crash in these markets. So next news, Binance launches 500 million lending pool for Bitcoin miners. So one of the reasons why I wanted to share this is that the market is indeed very bad. Bitcoin price is low, energy price is high. So Bitcoin miners are actually suffering quite a bit, right? They can't sell their Bitcoin because the prices are low, but energy prices is skyrocketing, right? So what happened is that Binance launches this 500 million lending pool. So, Bitcoin miners can borrow money from Binance in order to continue to stay afloat. So definitely, this is very challenging times for cryptocurrency, especially on the infrastructure layer. So NFT news, it seems that LFG has not updated yet, but I do want to share with you that other side, a Twitter handle was deactivated, but it seems like it was not related to the SEC. It was locked after the team was aware of suspicious activity. Artifact and Remora, which is the luggage brand, branded together to announce a project called SideQuest, which is kind of an interesting collaboration drop. So we'll definitely have to see more. Magic Eden announced that they're joining forces with Cora Group, an NFT marketplace and aggregator built for traders. So for those of you who do not know, Cora Group is the place where you can actually have 0 secondary royalties for the NFT. Okay, so that is the platform where people sell the Solana NFTs if they want to sell without royalties to the team. Okay. So yeah, pretty much this. I think there's nothing much. I also announced the biggest Keungz news already, so definitely check it out. And also, yeah, guys, it's exciting because Memeland is finally coming out. We're finally gonna see what Memeland is all about in this. Besides these potato and sticking, right? So this is your host Non-Fungible TC. Happy Friday and have a great weekend. If you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. And until next week, bye bye.